Welcome back to Europe Contenders Trials. Labosco and Blank here with you, getting ready for game number 3 that we have going on for you on Broadcast.gg. Tea&Biscuits versus We Have Org. We Have Org coming in 4-0. Tea&Biscuits right now 1-3. They are on the brink, Blank, for Tea&Biscuits. This is a must-win for them. If they don't win this one, it's pretty much all but done. And of course, We Have Org. If they win, they have sealed their ticket, although they've pretty much already have gotten in themselves. That just puts that exclamation mark stamp on it.
So let's see if we can get another 3-1 win today, so they can add that to the ever winning roster of 3-1 wins. So hopefully they can post that on social media, because then you don't have to make another graphic. You can just keep that 3-1 graphic going for absolutely forever. So that would be nice. But yeah, we are getting into game pretty much very much now. So I appreciate you all being patient with us, and I hope you have been eating your BGG beans at home. But we'll be getting underway right about now.
Yes, and of course we already know what the map pool starting for the day is, as we know that we're going to be going to Ilios again. And as far as what we know for We Have Org, Tea&Biscuits, what are the expectations we should have here?
I mean, for We Have Org, they've got, like, it's a fairly new roster. Like, they've got some new players on the team, some old players on the team, but they are very, very clean. And I think their execution style is rapid, absolutely rapid. But their DPS players are definitely one to look out for, and the support players just back them up in a way that's unreal. Tea&Biscuits got some pretty good individual players, but they seem to drop the ball at times when it's not necessary, dropping in ultimates where they might not need to. Their ult economy, basically cycling, is not the best. So let's see if they have worked on that in this week's scrims or practice, or head coaches has told them off about. I don't know. We'll see what happens.
I think something to consider, though, for Tea&Biscuits, too, is they are a newer team. They've kind of sort of come together here recently. They were an open division team as well, but as far as getting into Contenders Trials, you know, there is some experience, but maybe not as much as we've seen from other teams. Certainly not as much as we know from the side of We Have, or you talk about their support duo, too, and Kanga and Kara. They are one of the mainstays for this We Have Org team. It looks like they're going to go with Ana Lucio at the start here for that.
Yeah, Kanga is insane Ana, so watch out for him. We did just see an insane Ana with Bucket on British Hurricane, so it's going to be hard to live up to those standards, but I'm sure Kanga can make it. Now, Tea&Biscuits, they're coming out with a pretty standard composition here, close holding round corners with the McCree to prevent these big targets from coming in. It's going to be especially hard for Zergy to get in there, because at the moment, this composition that We Have Org running just wants to get in and aggravate the front line. So far, Lynx is going to stop them from doing that.
Don't underestimate, though, this side of We Have Org or Zergy on this Doomfist either, but it's Lynx finding IDXD at the start. That's going to give them a little bit of room to start pushing forward here. They do find the Doomfist as well, so for Tea&Biscuits, this is the start that they would want to have. They've taken out both DPS. They're going to find themselves the baby D.Va as well. And Lynx just chasing down a couple of players. Does get slept. He does have Deadeye and a D.Va to protect him, though. But they do start building percentage here for T&B.
Well, this is the problem that with Tea&Biscuits saw before, and it seems like it's been fixed now, is that Lynx has been given the support that he needs to get in those fights and continue putting that consistent damage. He will have the Deadeye, not going to be too much use, probably more to get Stomp or Midnight out of their mech, or just completely kill the Winston in this case. He doesn't really have a mech, there's no smaller Winston either side there. But We Have Org, they're going to try and get on the point and win with this sound barrier.
IDXD really close to his EMP as well. Lynx holding onto that Deadeye is going to pop it now, looking for some targets. Finds one in IDXD from downtown, and now looks and finds himself Kanga. We switched off it there, but his flash, he finished it off and holding on. Tea&Biscuits already up to 42% here in control.
Yeah, this looks like a very much different kind of Tea&Biscuits that we've seen from before. Understand that Lynx can put in the work, and they've started to play around him more. So they've got the rest of the team playing on these more supportive roles. We've got the Brigida, we've got Mini Kunga, we've got Webster. I like Mini Kunga on Zenyatta. He's a really good Zenyatta, and his Discord all placement has been phenomenal this far.
Zergy diving in on that top, using the Meteor Strike now, trying to find a target for himself, finds a Winston, gets him low, causes the Primal Rage to be popped. Now going in, diving towards the back line with that ult is Valmaster. Midna, though, with his Primal Rage, finds two! With that one, got the D.Va along with the Brigitte. Lynx, though, looking, almost finds Kara, but a good boot pushes him away, and IDXD finds Valmaster in the meantime, and finally going to get their first take is We Have Org.
At 85%, it's still looking pretty good for Tea&Biscuits. There is a bit of a serious stall there onto Miniconga at the end. He was taking a nap. I'm not sure Omnics do sleep, but in this case, he will be snoozing. Now, Tea&Biscuits, they have the Transcendence. We've got the sound barrier. They can use all of this aggressively, but you can't use that sound barrier too early because IDXD, although he did go early down in that fight, he retained that EMP, which can completely shut down the sound barrier and just rip it completely away from Tea&Biscuits.
Yeah, so still plenty of things to work on. They're about to get a fourth ult up to in the nano boost, and not too far from another ult is Zergy as well. He gets in there, gets the Diva low. Lynx popping this Deadeye here, looking for a target. Nobody's been able to make themselves, but Roten with the self-destruct, able to take advantage of all those players just trying to hide from the Deadeye. Self-destruct in response, though, and finds one in Phillian, so you do have the Brigitte out here. Midna getting the nano boost onto him, chasing down that transcending Zenyatta. In the meantime, Midna in the bubble, jumping back towards the point, though, here where his team has been falling is the only problem. So it looks like this will be a retake for Tea&Biscuits after they finish out these last couple of kills. And there's only one ultimate to work for We Have Org, and it's already up to 90% for T&B.
Now, they really want to get Midna out of the way early in this fight, because if he does get that Primal Rage, he'll be able to stall for a little bit longer. Give IDXD time to get this EMP in this next fight, which could cause the recontest. 99% in climbing. Here comes the Meteor Strike.
Does get 2 is the only thing. Deadeye in response, though, doesn't find anything. Does a lot of damage, though, to the Winston, who's in Primal Rage. You do have the Wrecking Ball here to try and stop for as long as possible. For We Have Org, self-destruct says goodbye to Hammond, and they will take point number 1 for the side of Tea&Biscuits, but of course, they still have to win one more. But this start is exactly what you want for the side of Tea&Biscuits.
Of course, Tea&Biscuits, they needed that. That's a massive confidence boost there, and We Have Org gonna have to shake things up a little bit. If we do go on to Well here, which has a very different type of playstyle, because there is that massive environmental hazard in the middle of the map. But again, this is another map where Lynx can shine on the McCree, and We Have Org understand this, and they have to move IDXD over to it. There are so many small corners where the flashback can hit you. But I don't think Midna was expecting the huge spike of damage that Lynx was able to provide when he jumped in. Got that flashbang down, dropped into 180 HP, and he had to drop back towards his healers. Obviously, they were already taking a beating on point. So Tea&Biscuits so far splitting their attention really well.
And just a reminder for you watching, this is also the patch before the roll goes down to that lower cooldown. So there's a little bit of a difference here to the McCree than the live McCree patch. Just something to make note of here as we watch these fights go down. You do have, going towards where that small health pack room is, the side of Tea&Biscuits, and they're able to get the Diva here at the very start. Lynx still looking for another one. Conga able to find Phillian, but his team's still losing too many. And the flank here, Lynx just missed the headshot onto the Zenyatta, able to stay alive, and his team will still get this one because he forced everybody back, and then the rest of his team followed up into it, and Tea&Biscuits building up here on point number 1, and then they take out Zergy there at the end on the Brigitte, staggered out pretty hard.
Lynx is so aggressive, plays very, very well, and I like that Tea&Biscuits is starting to support him, but this feels like a completely different team to what we've seen before. But is this just the one map that We Have Org loses and takes the other 3? That's the question. But so far, Tea&Biscuits look like they're putting up more than a fight than We Have Org are used to.
Haven't gotten control of this point yet here. They got close on the last map. Deadeye up for Lynx here. There's also the rally up that's going to quickly be popped here by Zergy. Deadeye can't find anybody yet, but it doesn't matter. Self-destruct able to help get Sean P gone, and Zergy able to find Phillian. So it's still even on either side, but the Diva being lost could be considered maybe the bigger loss for the side of We Have Org. But Deadeye here from IDXD able to take out Valmaster. So still a chance here for We Have Org to finish this one off as they keep finding eliminations. Didn't matter that Transcendence was popped, as they will finally get the flip here, but 56% built up to for Tea&Biscuits.
And Kanga retains that Zenyatta or that Transcendence, and Kara will have the sound barrier for the next fight as well. So We Have Org, they're looking at if they play this right at about 60% before Tea&Biscuits can really make that good recontest. They don't have any huge ultimates other than Rotten's Diva Bomb to find those massive picks, so they've got to take it nice and slow, finding those picks one at a time. A lot of set plays in this composition, and they just don't have it. But Phillian, he moves forward, it doesn't matter. Midna gets caught out.
Way too late was the Transcendence on that one to get him caught out. Valmaster gets booped towards the hole, but he uses his Primal Rage to get right back into this one as he's just continuing to displace players, finds himself a Brigitte to force into a corner, and they get the switch back over for Tea&Biscuits, and they clean up whoever was left, but the couple do get out, Kara speed boosting them away.
Both defensive ultimates are down on We Have Org now, as well as Lynx goes ever so low. The quick armor pack will keep him alive in this situation. Another couple of bobs slick past his head. Whew, that must be loud as those sort of sling past his ears. We Have Org, however, they're going to have the rally coming in this next fight. Filion does not have it, so there'll be added armor to burn through. Again, Tea&Biscuits need to go for a quick burst on one of these major targets in the front line.
If they get Minikunga, he's not going to be able to use his trance. He's so close to it and was so low. Deadeye comes out from IDX. He does get the Diva out, finishes it off as well, as they do find the kills needed to retake this point, but it's 95% where it's at for Tea&Biscuits, so one more fight win for them, and they can have this, and they did have to use ults for We Have Org.
Absolutely, and the rally came out, and as you can see on the top right of your screen, a lot of the armor was stripped away from some important targets like Kanga and Kara, the two defensive supports on the side of We Have Org. Tea&Biscuits are coming back into it with Transcendence, Diva Bomb. They have a lot to work with here, but Lynx, he's got to be careful because this team is looking for him.
Kanga using his Transcendence a little bit later. Lynx, though, looking for this Deadeye, and that's what we've been staying on here. Zergy, though, finds Filion. In the meantime, nothing for the Deadeye from Lynx because everybody was just too far away from him, so that fight being so far away could spell disaster, but good for Tea&Biscuit, or for We Have Org, excuse me, Midna and Kara with those with the environmental kill there for Kara as well, getting Webster. They're going to hold on here. They're going to probably be around 85-90% before you can have Tea&Biscuits come back in.
I'm pretty sure I just said that Kara didn't have a defensive ultimate, but here we are looking at him. He's already got that sound barrier. What an impressive amount of damage and healing he put in during that fight. Now, Tea&Biscuits going to be really careful. Diva Bomb has to be huge, and there's no Deadeye to combo with it to force We Have Org into unfavorable positions.
Self-destruct doesn't go far enough. If that went a little bit further, that could have been bad, but they get the sound barrier up instead. IDX, forced away, won't be able to use his ultimate. Self-destruct onto the point, just pushes people away. Nobody gets caught into it. So far, ultimates haven't worked for either team. Sean P, though, able to get Roten out of map. That's a good start for the side of We Have Org. Lynx, though, still desperately trying to keep his team in this one, putting some damage out onto the Winston. Transcendence committed here to keep everybody moving forward. Lynx able to get the Brigitte, so still a chance for Tea&Biscuits, but they're IDXD getting Filion. So this one's still so close. It's which McCree can do more. Sean P getting Lynx, though, as this one will end up being taken by We Have Org. We're going to map number 3. That was so close, though. There were still some people left alive for D&B. They couldn't get back on the map, onto the point.
Wow. That was impressive. Tea&Biscuits just played very, very well towards the end there. You did have Lynx in great positions at great times, took out both the Brigitte and the Zenyatta, but no one else was left on the team. This front line from Tea&Biscuits has been shutting down so quickly by We Have Org. The Brigitte is always there to catch Valmaster as he jumps in, and Rodden is just split away from his team so very often. We Have Org seem to have this them patted down on Tea&Biscuits, right? They know their play style, playing around Lynx a lot. Now this is a completely different type of map while Labosco on Ruins. We're going to see a lot more of Lynx with these long sight lines, and Valmaster will be backing him up for sure.
And you're just seeing the standard 3-3 here with Zenyatta for the GOATS comp that we see from We Have Org. So see if that Widowmaker will be able to get those headshots in onto this beefy lineup that you have coming out on the other side. They're actually just going to completely go back to spawn. It looks like they're going to just completely change their comp here, is what it seems to be. So they're going to give up early control to We Have Org, and that's super tough. And you're going to be a little bit behind as far as ultimate, but not massively.
Yeah, they didn't want to give up too much ultimate charge by losing the first fight. They opted to just change around quickly instead. The Zenyatta here is not going to have as much of an effect, but off goes to Yaz, just one of the players. Actually does, yeah, gets Filion.
Kara's so good at getting those boops off on the Lucio, as that's sort of what starts the domino effect here, as Tea&Biscuits now have to just reconvene at spawn to try and get back together. But ultimates, you know, didn't give up too much ultimate percentage because nobody's too close. Kanga, though, going to be very close to getting his Transcendence, and that could be a big difference maker in this next fight.
But Zergy, look, is 62% here on the Zarya already, down to 22% on Lynx, and they will find them in this close corner. A huge fire strike comes through.
able to get Roten out of mech. So getting that D.Va out, very good start. Just don't have some of that utility that's available and the damage that can come out from a D.Va as well. Very high charge is Zergy, close to getting all the way up to his ult as well. Out comes the Earth Shatter, though, on the other side. Him and Ikonga able to take Midna out in the meantime. Now quickly throwing in the self-destruct here and using the Graviton Surge on either side. Ultimates flying either way as sound barriers come out to keep both these teams alive. The good thing here for We Have Org, even if they end up losing this fight, they're still building up percentage here as now the Graviton Surge comes out from Tea&Biscuits, and now they're finally going to get control here, but took so much. Looks like 72% is where it'll be for We Have Org.
Wow. Well, Tea&Biscuits managed to find to get it back. Still, Lynx is behind on ult charge to Zergy, but not by as much as before. Tea&Biscuits, they were having a bad time. They were down on ult economy and all this. Also, if you are wondering, Zergy's POV does look a bit odd. That's because he's playing with a trackball. The guy is crazy.
So what we've heard from Leg Day the other day, if you watched any of the Gilded Gala, he actually mentioned that on Valmaster uses. Oh, he doesn't get the Earth Shatter off. He got hit by the stun from the Brigitte, so that stops it. Great shield bash, and now you see everybody going forward for the side of We Have Org. They have theirs available. They use it. They don't get anything for it either. Able to avoid the self-destruct here. Transcendence out keeps everybody alive on point as well. Zergy getting Filion down too, as Zergy looking for his next target. Looks like he's going on to the D.Va as his next one. Keeps his Reinhardt up with the shield. Roten does manage to get that and finds another one too. So Roten able to get a few to keep Tea&Biscuits into this fight. Lynx on the Zarya here. So very high charge and getting a lot of damage out. They're still building up.
Conga.
It's crazy. Kara with another one here. The sound barrier committed though onto the Graviton Surge used by Zergy. They're not able to get this over for We Have Org, even though they were starting to get some numbers advantage. They get forced back.
We do have 3 ultimates coming out from We Have Org here. The most important being the Shatter and the D.Va Bomb. There are so many set plays you can do here. Drop the D.Va Bomb and charge the Reinhardt afterwards, or even invest the Earth Shatter as well. And it has to be done quickly now. 81% and climbing. You do not want to give percentage over at this point to a GOAT composition that can just get so much charge. A massive D.Va Bomb will take down Rodden.
Both self-destructs got something, but Midna getting more with his Earth Shatter and swinging that hammer, and they will retake this 94% on the side for Tea&Biscuits. We Have Org now building up almost to 80. We're in final fight territory.
There is 1% difference between Lynx and Zergy here. We Have Org retained so much armor from that last fight. There's going to be so much to eat through here, and Tea&Biscuits got to do it quick. It will depend on who gets the Graviton first and holds them off the point, as they are at 90% now. We are pushing in slowly but surely, but they mix the Graviton. Oh no!
Didn't find anybody, but they are still able to get Webster in the meantime. They do have 2 defensive ults that are up here, and they actually layer both of them to make sure they keep everybody alive. Graviton Surge, though, comes out a little bit afterwards, and now they will pop their trans. Only problem is everybody's starting to fall for the side of Tea&Biscuits. They still have the Reinhardt on point. He gets charged into, gets taken out. What a great play here. Overtime meter starting to tick down, just getting back on his Webster. Self-destruct finds one here, and now you just have one character left alive in the Lucio to stall. They come back on. Oh, they're getting pushed too far away and not able to get on point was the Hammond, and this will be the win for We Have Org, but it was not easy.
They bring it back. Like I say, Lobosco, it was not easy whatsoever. Tea&Biscuits, they put up a great fight then. Lynx playing so well. Valmaster started to get a little bit more over-aggressive towards those last couple of maps, and you know what? We Have Org, they absolutely crushed him and punished him for it.
Amazing start to this one. I need a breath. We're going to take a quick time out. When we come back, we'll have map number 2 here for you. 1-0 in favor of We Have Org right now.
It's been a long time.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Welcome back here on Europe Contenders Trials. Labasco and Blank here with you. It's 1-0 for We Have Org, but Blank, it was not easy for them to get their first map win here on this day. I mean, let's look at the side of Tea&Biscuits first. They win that first map, close to winning both of those others too. What kind of stopped them from getting over that edge to get that first map win?
Well, the car is nuts to begin with. I mean, car is nuts. I mean, some of those boops were just so monumental. I mean, the one into Philion on Ruins dropped him off the map quite early on, and that means A, he's not giving a crucial armor packs over to Valmas to try and bait the team in. He's not giving Inspire, which is a massive 16 HPS, and even more important than that, he's not getting Rally Charge. So every time on We Have Org, they always had Rally Armor before, and it was always Tea&Biscuits going into the armor. So it just puts them a massive disadvantage. We are dropping into game 2 right now. Obviously, Ilios is one of those maps where it does favor a lot of boot potential. Some maps, maybe not so much. So Kara is going to have to just play more to the bucks of Lucio, which at the end of the day, he did get a sound barrier for like 15 seconds or something stupid.
Yeah.
Like that. So, I mean...
He's pretty good on
play Lucio too, so I mean,
yeah, he's not too bad on Lucio. I think you can say that his support pool is pretty good.
Not bad.
And he's also the main shot caller for this team as well. And I think that's something else to maybe point out about him is his shot calls were really good for We Have Org there, especially on those last 2 maps. But now we go to Eichenwald. This will change things a little bit. Obviously, there's a lot more, a lot different things that you can do. You can see the McCree again from the side of Tea&Biscuits from Lynx if that's what you really want to do. But there's a lot of other options as well. We know Fair is a possibility here too. Looking at what they're showing us so far, they're not really showing us anything for Tea&Biscuits. So who knows?
Yeah, Tea&Biscuits keeping it down, but just I never noticed that. Oh my, good job, observers. I have never seen that ever before.
Oh, really?
We can see the Reinhardt little engraving in the bar. No, I've not seen that. That's incredible.
Interesting.
There you go. TIL. Yeah,
Learn something new every day.
Exactly. We have Org running Sombra Doomfist. Now this is a pretty cool comp. I like this composition. It works extremely well. if you can cycle it out properly, sure, it is a difficult comp to play at the end of the day, though. It's interesting to me they are playing the Diva Winston on point A, where there isn't really all that much high ground to contest, so you would probably more favor to see like a Reinhardt and a Zarya. But I guess we wait and see, seeing as they are going against Tea&Biscuits, who have brought out some interesting comps before.
And we've seen, actually, this comp from We Have Org specifically was handled pretty well by Tea&Biscuits just the last map. We'll see if they can do it again. So they are going to go with Widowmaker and Pharah as their main DPS here, along with dive tanks.
Absolutely. So we have dive versus dive, except on this side we got the Sombra and the Doomfist, who do their work slowly but effectively. So you can see a Doomfist just absolutely pop off suddenly. But the time being here, he's like mid-game, he's a little bit slow. But here we go, Zergy over the top side, gets the 89 in, doesn't find anyone. Tea&Biscuits very much out of the way. And Filion finding that Pharah kill almost immediately is just going to open up the floodgates.
And Link's able to find Kara as well. So now they jump onto that, the rest of the backline that's left. They're forced into that little tiny room. That's perfect if you're a Pharah, because you can just fire rockets inside, and Lynx just goes in there, finds Conga, and it's going to be a quick take for Tea&Biscuits on this first point.
And that's why having a projected barrier just is so incredibly strong when you're playing a Doomfist, because in this sense they could have dropped the projected barrier onto him as he went in, as he came out, mitigated maybe 120 to 140 of that initial damage, then he gets to cover and he gets away. In this situation, the dive tanks are just forced back, waiting for something to happen, and the dive just came just too slow.
Lynx finding the first kill, though, on the Conga at the start here. There were some switches made by the side of We Have Org. IDXD finding Filion, who was trying to dive in. Lynx still finding Zergy. So the Widows right now, the big story as this fight continues on. And now it seems like the more picks that have been found because of Lynx are allowing his team to keep that cart moving and regrouping as We Have Org.
Just slowly but surely, Tea&Biscuits, they are moving it around the corner. Webster is on the Mercy and getting a little bit more extra damage to the Widowmaker and to Genji here, who Filion is playing. I like this. I also don't like this, because you do lose out on a lot of healing here. Obviously, Mercy's a 50 HPS, so that's why a lot of these fights, they want to end them quick.
Using the Winston with the nano boost going in is melted. He gets melted completely really quickly in. Roten now looking for the Diva. Self-destruct has to be used here just to try and do something, but the cart just continues to move. The Tracer and Sean P can't really contest it as of right now. Lynx still having some free-firing ability, has to just use the left click here. Can't really scope in onto anybody, as his team, though, still finding eliminations, and will be able to start moving that cart again once they can regroup and get this Winston out of their way. Kind of a weird thing, though, right now, too. We have Org, have a bunch of people on the left side of the map that are going to be able to come in and try and dive quickly onto that back line. Zergy, one of them, going up onto the high ground.
Gonna try and drop down onto this Widowmaker. So far, the Orb of Harmony and the 50 HPS coming off the Mercy is just so strong. They know they want to kill Lynx, but he just has so much pocketing available to him, and the rest of the front line is so self-sufficient. They can just continue to push this round. Lynx is so safe, but Sean P, he's in the background. Out comes the Dragon Blade, looking for the kill, but in comes the boop. Just gonna completely shut down that Dragon Blade.
Great job there, and now they just have these couple of players to try and deal with who've been pushed up forward, but Lynx finds Midna in the meantime, so the Widowmaker's still working here. Ooh, gets a shot onto him from IDXD, and is so close. The Tracer finds him in the back line in Zergy, but the only problem is Cart's still moving here. We have Org now quickly getting back onto a Transcendence into this fight. Zergy with the Pulse Bomb sticks it onto the Winston, doesn't take him down because there's Transcendence there to keep him alive. Filion finds IDXD in the meantime while this is happening for Zergy. Has to use the recall here, looks for another target in the air. Self-destruct up on top of the cart to help try and move it a little bit more. Zergy back into recontest, looks towards the back line. This cart's so close to hitting that final point, and Lynx still doing work in the back line as he was brought back into the fight. Finally take the Tracer down, and they finally will get this point here. IDXD a little bit late in, and is going to get sacrificed there to the Zenyatta.
That was a long hold, a long stall, and we have already starting to make the switch over to the more favorable composition here with the Reinhardt and the Zarya. Tea&Biscuits holding their guns, however, because Valmaster, he does have this primal rage. I would expect Rotten to switch over to the Zarya as he comes back up, because you absolutely do need it at this point.
regrouping right now. Looks like the side of Tea&Biscuits. They did push up pretty aggressively here, but now Link's kind of getting caught out in front right now, taking a lot of damage. He's being kept up, though. Pocketed really well is the good thing. The Primal Rage inside really didn't do much. Displaced the tanks a little bit. Now out comes the use of the Valkyrie, and the Blade has to use Reflect in the middle of it, though, is Philly, and he can't find anything here. Does get healed back up, but that Blade goes all for naught. Meantime, though, you have the main tank finding it, and now the kills start to come in, so the Blade enables things, even though it didn't get the kills. Oh, nice headshot there by Lynx, too, onto the Zarya, but able to get back into spawn just in time. And did see a Wrecking Ball maybe going to be coming back in here to contest in a second, but he has to get on and hurry. Oh, and that pile driver just in time. Self-destruct almost takes him out, too, so he does do a little bit of displacing. Transcendence here. The card is just so close to finishing here. Lynx still free-firing from that chandelier up top. Midna and Kara, though, able to get 2 eliminations at the start with the help of the sound barrier to maybe force this back. Kara with another one, too. The supports with the help, too, of a bit of extra health from all that armor from IDXD, making the difference. But they were so close, Blank. Tea&Biscuits, still 2:20 on the clock.
Yeah, 2 minutes 30 remaining here. It's still a lot of time. We have Org are just so very good at shutting down the cold steel that Tea&Biscuits keep trying to throw into that backline. Midna, however, he has the Earthshatter. Down comes the pile driver, dropping the Reinhardt up, and the shield is away.
Allows for them to get everybody except for one here, have the Zarya displaced and quickly staggered out. Might have been somebody late there coming back who's able to get back into spawn, but Tea&Biscuits in a tough spot, Blank.
Wow, we have Org. Obviously, see, Tea&Biscuits didn't make the swap off earlier, so now they're behind in percentage. We've still got Rotten on this D.Va. Valmaster is on the Reinhardt. Oh, D.Va wants to go forward, but Reinhardt's got to stay still. Out comes the minefield on the bridge. You're not walking past that one anytime soon. And Zergy, he's got the Graviton as well as here, which Midna, he can just absolutely swing into another Earthshatter. Pile driver comes down, and we just cycle this out indefinitely.
They also, there was a boop off by Webster as well that I think was on Sean P. So he goes back over to the D.Va now after being on the Wrecking Ball. Zergy uses the Graviton Surge here. Didn't catch anybody into it other than on the other side of the cart. Not quite getting everybody. Transcendence comes out here, keeps everybody alive from Konga. Konga still trying to keep forward. Minda does have another Earth Shatter. He finds a couple too. Transcendence comes out, but it's too late to get Philly. And so already the Brigitte gone in this fight. Still have a chance here though for Tea&Biscuits to win this one if they can keep themselves forward. They have a Graviton Surge available as well. Lynx looking for an opportunity to use it here, but they're going to have to back out. They've lost too much and there's 43 seconds left. They want to make sure that they can complete this, so they're going to wait for 6.
Someone has to move Sean P out the way. At the moment, Lynx can't safely throw in the Graviton without worrying about the D.Va Matrix, because you see, Sean P always has eyes on Lynx at the time being. Lynx already half HP. Out comes the rally. There's so much armor to chew through. Zergy will have 95% almost on a Graviton of his own. Oh my god, huge!
Massive self-destruct finds 3.5, getting the D.Va mech. Phillian finishes that off there, and this cart's going to start going again. And with how the team kill coming, I don't know if anybody's going to be able to get back. Maybe one here, just getting back in time is the Doomfist and Zergy, but only for a moment as the cart does hit that point before they get into overtime. So big complete here for Tea&Biscuits.
Tea&Biscuits just about make it in the nick of time there. They've been waiting so long to throw out that play, and I think they could have done it so much earlier though, Lebosco, if they made the switches off sooner. Valmaster, you don't really have to hold on to that Primal Rage, can just get rid of it. It's not going to make too much of a difference on this point C itself. All you really do is smacking people into pillars, and yeah, you're not doing too much there, right? Now it will be we have Org's turn to be on the attack. See if they can do it any quicker than before.
I think one thing to point out here, too, is Lynx on that Widowmaker worked really well on that first point. It's so hard to make it work on that final point here in Eichenwald. Not that he did bad on it. It's just there's characters that where he clearly got more value out of it once he did make the switch, too. So just I think one thing to point out there. But for the side of we have Org, the fact that they got it down to 5 seconds, you can still have the potential to have the bigger time bank here. And it looks like they're going to go with IDXD. He was kind of hovering over that McCree, but it looks like he's going to go to the Hanzo now instead. This is what they're looking to maybe do. I think that this is what we're going to see from We Have Org.
It's an interesting composition considering we have Kanga on the Widow. He's usually playing on the supportive side. RDXD on the hands though. If they did want to play it, it's possible. You have the crossfire from the two snipers, but you've got to make that crossfire work. You can't be just having that linear playthrough in which, because you have RDXD and Kanga in the same position, it's so easy for Valmaster and Rotten to just shut you down that way. Kara switches over to the Mercy. So now we're going to have Mercy basically mono healing with Zergy playing this more tanky DPS role.
Yeah, Zergy can play up front with the two tanks in Sean P and Midna. On the other side, Lynx on the McCree. And then you also have a lot of tanks to try and have to go through, and you still have the triple support. So both sides with triple supports here is the one thing to be pointed out. IDXD has actually made that switch to the McCree here instead, and Kanga goes to the Zenyatta. So they're going to go with a little bit different of a look than what they were at first showing us. See how it works as they kind of go for it. I think that was maybe part of their rollout as they saw that this is the switch they wanted. They pushed their way into point now. Lynx dealing damage out very close to falling himself. Throws the flashbang out. I think he got eaten though. So nobody gets flashed here. Good eat of that. They've already got a tick for the side of We Have Org. Nobody's really able to push onto them right now. Midna is kind of just keeping them there. Stun does come onto them. They're so close to completing this point, though, that it might not end up mattering here. They finally do get one. Using his ult to his IDXD gets slept, but it's afterwards, and it's not going to matter. They got Roten out. They have a Brigitte who is... You got the nano boost, but that doesn't matter. Lynx trying to turn this one around. He's the only one left alive with a couple of others. Oh, nice one. And they get off the point long enough and complete it. So doesn't matter if they ended up losing that fight out. They didn't, though. They were able to turn it around because all the supports were left and they had enough damage to just finish it off. By the way, look at the ults that they have here, though, on the side of We Have Org.
We Have Org, they got some time. They have some time. They're holding up top side. Midna's got this Primal Rage. You got Sean P with this D.Va as well, so that's a set play there. You can go for woof, 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 Lynx. Oh my god, that was clean.
Had the infrared sight, that helps him out a lot. Roten also finding somebody as well. With Zergy coming in from behind. That was a one clip for sure, but doesn't matter. The cart being controlled right now by the side of Tea&Biscuits. So even though you have a bunch of ults up, you can't really use them because you're getting picked off too quickly. But, you know, I think it's safe to say that maybe they'll be ready for it this time, and there's no infrared sight to help out Lynx.
No, IDXD is desperately looking around for Lynx at the moment, like you're saying. Kara will have this sound barrier. We're going to have the Transcendence as well, so... Come on, dude. Lynx is. Wow, he's one hell of a hit scan player. You got to give it to him.
Yeah, the dive does come into him. Doesn't really matter, though. Phillian able to get Sean P in the meantime as well. So they've gone to this dual sniper comp, and it's working. And guess what? Already up to another infrared sight is the Widowmaker player in Lynx.
He's hitting so many shots, and at the moment, really all that needs to be done is this front line just creates space, creates time for Lynx to hit these shots, and if slowly but surely he is going to hit them. He is consistently hitting them as they come out the gate.
Also, of course, have the use of the Sonic Arrow here to get a little bit more scouting after it ends. Zergy diving in now, tried to sell the bomb, but guess what? It gets eaten by the D.Va, so no Pulse Bomb working there. Lynx finding 2 in a row! IDXD finally takes him out, but the damage has been done as now the tanks can come in free farm on the rest of the team.
Really, all that DMEC was about there is just stalling out that D.Va, giving Lynx a little bit more time at the point. The rest of We Have Org understand this as they drop off. They might make some switches out here. Sean P going possibly. Zergy actually probably going to go over to the Zarya. You got Midna on the Reinhardt. I would not be surprised, but I guess they're just going to have a shield here to keep them from getting blasted as they come out from the gate.
Midna getting that cart moving finally. Primal Rage coming out here, going on to IDXD. Dragon Strike out as well, and it finds one. IDXD gets taken out, couldn't get into the Transcendence, and Lynx finds Kara. What a shot onto the head, and he's already got himself another infrared sight that he can pop and try and find these last few stragglers. Pulse Bomb does get one onto Webster, so that could help out once the respawners come back in here. Getting caught out to his Lynx. Zergy's so close to taking him down. And Kanga, nobody's there to stop the cart from moving. They're finally able to get this around this corner, so maybe a little bit less pressure will come. And IDXD finding the kill onto Lynx. A lot of that Widow pressure gone.
So now they are moving forward. This long sight line is not going to be there as much for Lynx anymore, because this is really what they wanted, is to take control of the high ground. So now they've got to contend with Sean P up top side. IDXD takes that top side as well as Ophidian, just escorting his team onto the high ground. Make sure they can contest that. We've got to worry about the payload that is moving down the bridge as well.
Still a minute and 40 left onto the clock here. Self-destruct going across.
Oh!
Does find Zergy. I thought maybe he was going to get away from it, but it looks like maybe he didn't have the blinks available. Kara does get the self-destruct. Oh, but it went on top. It does still manage to get 1.5. Kart's still moving forward here. Link's in a battle with IDXD, and he's going to win it, and already has his ult back up again. Out goes for it. Oh, but he gets taken out by Conga. Conga got too aggressive here, and he's going to pay for it. Conga transing on the point. They just have to find this wrecking ball. Uses his shield here to try and stay alive, but he's not going to last very long, and they will get this point, and they're still going to have a decent amount of time. 2.5 minutes.
2.5 minutes, similar to what we saw Tea&Biscuits running into point C with as well as, but now this time instead it will be Tea&Biscuits making the quick swaps off. They know that's what cost them time last time, so they're going to make it quick and clean now. We've got Minikunga with the Transcendence to hold themselves through this next upcoming fight should they need it, but so far they really need to cruise some percentage on those ults by winning this upcoming fight.
Minikunga with the trans at the very least, and is going to pop it right away in this fight. They get aggressive. Charge comes in along with the shift from the Brigitte. So now Valmaster can just run forward with his team and try and find some cleanup here. You did have IDXD take out Ophidian at the very least, but it doesn't really matter because they have to regroup.
You really couldn't have had the worst person to die first in that fight, which was Zergy. Now Lynx is going to be way ahead of him. An ult charge and charge on Zarya himself. So next fight is going to be tough for WeHaveOrg to get into. They will have Rally, which they're going to pop now to get into it, but Ophidian responds quickly. A nice charge there, but Valmaster was left open for a second.
Bubble comes onto him now, does allow him to get healed back up and get back onto the front line in this one. You have a lot of health onto the Zarya, though, on either side. So Graviton Surge up for Lynx. See when he decides to pop it. Valmaster with his ultimate as well. Self-destruct coming in will break the shield of Valmaster. Rotin finds Midna, though, is the only thing. Charge in, and the self-destruct will find 2.5. And then Sean P will quickly get eliminated. Good use of their ultimates by Tea&Biscuits, but WeHaveOrg have a lot on for them. Minikunga, though, still has trans. Valmaster with that Earthshatter still, too.
49 seconds remaining. Tea&Biscuits, they have stuff to work with. They got the Earthshatter, like you say. But the WeHaveOrg also have this Graviton to work as well. It's going to be a rotten. He has to eat this if they want a chance of holding around this corner here. Zergy, there's a lot of pressure on this guy now.
Earthshatter comes out, didn't
down.
get anything, so he does go down, but he's still able to stay alive because everybody else was stayed up. As the Graviton Surge comes out, Midna's able to get Roten's mech out of it, but that's it. But now they can push forward with this sound barrier here. Forces out the Transcendence. Out comes the Earthshatter. It's going to still get kills, even though there was a trans to try and fight through. Not enough healing there, and now the cart will start moving again for the side of WeHaveOrg. Chances are they won't get this completed until overtime, but that's okay because under a minute, that's all that matters. Zergy getting Minikunga here as well is a good stagger. Still have that card a little bit of the ways to go. Overtime now here. This is the fight. Have that grab, the one thing to pay attention with, see what they can do with it. That could be the big difference maker. The only problem is there's a trans on the other side and a self-destruct. Out comes the Graviton Surge. Trans used here a little bit late.
Two self-destructs.
And then the grab comes out on the other side. But it's going better for the side of Tea&Biscuits. They clear almost everybody off. Or sorry, for the side of WeHaveOrg, they clear everybody off. The cart continues to move as they do get the team kill. And we'll get this one going as we will go to a second round.
Whew, Lobosco, we still in this one, WeHaveOrg made it all the way to the end there, in overtime. The Graviton came out, there was defensive ults available, and I think this is one thing that WeHaveOrg do very well, is Kara plays the Lucio, we have Kanga on the Zenyatta, and both these guys know exactly when they're going to use their ultimates, when they're going to cycle them out, and how to get them as quickly as possible to shut down any of these big ultis that Tea&Biscuits can throw at them. Lynx, I think he was a little bit afraid in that small moment on the Zarya, and he had to throw the Graviton in there and now, but they had a little bit more time to set up his own tank, Valmaster, to get in there. Now, though, we are on the second round like you were talking about, Lobosco, and it's all down to this.
Yeah, second round for these teams to attack on. WeHaveOrg is going to go first. they were really good on their initial attack. It was Tea&Biscuits who struggled at this point. By the way, I don't know if you noticed this, but there's a 1 second difference between what we had for our last game.
Yeah.
We British Hurricane and Bazooka Puppies, whereas 104 one team had in 1 minute. So just funny thing to point out there is how things can be so similar. But looking at it here, you're going to have the Moira Goats for Tea&Biscuits, IDXD showing us right now, switching to Sombra actually, and Conga maybe just looking here initially, and we'll probably make a switch to a support is maybe the guess. See what he decides to do. Just looking in the sky, see if they maybe see a Pharah. Doesn't see it, so we'll make the switch on to the Zenyatta as they will start to move forward. So I think that's their pre-scouting. Probably worked pretty well here for them. They know what they want to do. Oh, they're going to switch actually IDXD as well because his scouting gives them even more information.
Zergy switches over to the hand zone now, back over to the Zarya as IDXD switches over to Brigitte. This is just going to be all about getting damage onto that front line quickly as possible. The Discord Orb and the Shield Bash. Tea&Biscuits, they've got more burst healing with Moira on the side, whereas Weirvorg, they've got consistent healing.
Sean gets the main tank out of the way, and that's the cue for We Have Org to continue on to this point, looking for the next elimination. They do get the Diva mech gone and out of this, so your two of the most important tanks already gone. IDXD on a flank there too takes out the baby Diva, so they will take this first point. Regrouping is Tea&Biscuits here. They want to try and hold at these doors if they can.
Valmaster plays really aggressively, and in this situation, it didn't play to his favor. He was in a weird position. Weirvorg, they get the shield bash onto him immediately. They just can melt him down. They have the Discord Orb. That's an increased 30% damage onto the main tank, and even though you don't have a single DPS player, doesn't matter. You're still going to melt him.
83% for links to that Graviton Surge. Gets it now. Very high charged as well. Using the coalescence is what they'll come in with. Oh, the Shatter because of that. And now you have the Graviton thrown in because of it. Self-destruct thrown into there as well. Counter Graviton Surge. Sean P able to find 1.5. But Valmaster still forward, able to take out Kara. Lynx still at a high percentage charge, trying to deal out as much damage as possible. This is still a pretty even fight, and the respawns are closer for the side of We Have Org. They're going to have to use the sound barrier here to just try and stay on this cart for the side of Tea&Biscuits, but We Have Org, they're going to get this win of the fight and keep this cart moving.
Absolutely. Tea&Biscuits, they thought they had it there, and then they drop down the enemy Diva. There's no Diva Matrix for Lynx's grab. In it goes. But this so far, We Have Org always has options, always has answers to these situations. Out comes the Earth Shatter. Out comes the Diva Bomb. Finds 1.5 there, like you're saying. Roland's an easy target on Baby Diva, and you're just playing 4v6 at that point.
They do have 3 ultimates here, though, for Tea&Biscuits. They're going to have the self-destruct and the Earth Shatter. They can try and combo those two, and of course, they get the extra armor here. So out comes the Earth Shatter. Now the counter Earth Shatter from Midna. They do lose one, though. Conga goes down to that self-destruct. Kara with a boot off. Oh, Midna almost went off himself, able to stay on. But it looks like this might be where the push ends for the side of We Have Org. Just a few players left alive. Lynx just pushing himself forward as they try to clear this card off. Finally do, but that amount of just ground taken by We Have Org may be enough here with only 1:05 on the clock for Tea&Biscuits.
I don't think they're making it here. 1:05, and honestly, with the way that We Have Org have been playing, being able to respond so quickly and easily to the problems that basically Tea&Biscuits are throwing at them, I think We Have Org are just absolutely going to hold this one. I don't think that they're going to make that many mistakes to allow Tea&Biscuits this far around onto bridge.
Now, I know they didn't win the fight, but can we talk about how smart it was for Midna to use his Earth Shatter when he did? Because he knew that self-destruct was maybe trying to set up the self-destruct into the Earth Shatter on the other side for T&B. Like, sure, they lose the fight, but those are the plays that you have to notice sometimes, right? Because that's something that, you know, if this is a different situation, that could be a game-winning fight.
And it's not unwinnable, right? It's not unwinnable. Tea&Biscuits, they still can make it to there should they want to. Their attack has been really strong. If Lynx starts to pop off, then sure. But I think a different type of strategy has to be employed. I don't think playing goats is the right answer because We Have Org, they have all the answers, right? They're almost cheating. You know, they've got their like little water bottle to their goats exam when they've written the answers inside it, so they know exactly what's going on. That's what's going on here. So I think Tea&Biscuits need to play to their strengths, play to their DPSs, which Philion is going to drop onto the Pharah 4. Lynx is going to be on the Sombra.
Yep, Lynx on the Sombra. We'll go against IDXD Sombra, and we have Zergy on the Doomfist. The one thing here, Filion on this Pharah might be a little hard to deal with because there's not a whole lot of damage that can go into the sky is the only thing. They don't have too much hit scan. They do have Conga, but they don't have a Diva to try and deal with it is the only thing here. Filion, though, does get some damage. He has his Mercy, though, right there to keep him up. So if they can get this Ana down here pretty early on, they can maybe snowball this into a pretty good push. Now just looking for any targets he can find is Filion hiding really well right now is the side we have Org, and that's okay because they don't need to push forward until they see an opportunistic time. Now that's maybe what they saw there. They start to move ahead. Oh, but the Wrecking Ball really close to falling. Filion only getting a little bit damage down, and Tea&Biscuits finally find what they need to do as they get Kara and Midna down and out of this fight. Lynx as well and Valmaster get taken down, and they will eventually complete this here after they take out the Wrecking Ball, but they are going to have to make this push through in overtime.
Lynx is going to take a proactive position here outside a point, and she returns to the payload a little bit and knows he can't jump off for too long. But they will be coming with this barrage. They're going to have Mini Kunga here. He did get a lot of shots in on that last fight, so he's going to be 57% towards his next ultimate. Obviously, we are now in overtime. Sean P, he's going to have the Diva Bomb. Not soon, apparently. I just checked. He's on 12%. But we will have a Nano Boost. He can probably ideally dropped onto Midna. But Zergy, if you can find some of these one clips onto the backline like he has done before, it's going to make a much better scenario for we have Org.
They do at least get through that first choke. That's the important thing here. They do have Deadeye up, Barrage as well. Looking for an opportunity is Filion. Has to go back a little bit here, avoiding the self-destruct, but now he can come back forward with the rest of his team. Only problem is Lynx gets taken out. Oh, but the barrage finds one, and he found one right before with the rocket onto Zergy. So Cart continues to move here. Oh, big anti-nade, but guess what? Nobody's alive to do anything about it.
Ooh, that was some value. That was some serious value. It's like you said, the telemarketing on TV. That's how much value you got from Filion. He's going to be the one representing. Now we have they got IDXD. They got the Sombra EMP coming up very shortly. Filion absolutely has to stay on our sightlines, but these ultimates have to be used soon. Mini Kunga could get absolutely shut down if he lets himself be.
Tea&Biscuits going to first use their Transcendence along with the Deadeye. Oh, the hack comes in! Valmaster able to find Conga, and Midna goes off the map, though. That could be disastrous enough here for this to be the win for Tea&Biscuits. Self-destruct out in front. Doesn't find anybody, but it at least forces some more space to be created. EMP in desperation. It's not going to matter. Winning this one is Tea&Biscuits. Like you said, not unwinnable as it is winnable for T&B as they even this up 1-1.
And this is exactly what needed to happen. Play to their strengths. You don't have to go to out in this situation. You don't have to try and run them over at their own game. Play. Give them a test that they don't know the answers to. You say, oh, study for this one. And then you bring out the McCree. You bring out the Farah. They haven't done any studying for that. And in this case, Filion played so well. Lynx played extremely well. And I don't think he was the right target for that hack, though. You left the Diva and the Winston unhacked. They were able to bring support to their team anyway. And I mean, what's a McCree? I mean, he's used a flashbang. He could only roll every 8 seconds. I mean, it's not going to do too much. I mean, he's still going to keep shooting at you, right? He's pretty old-fashioned, this guy. He does things the old-fashioned way.
He does. And the old-fashioned way forced them enough to be able to win it is the one thing, too. I think for We Have Orc, too, they really didn't have a lot of hit scan to deal with the Pharah ever. Like, I was a little surprised that once they lost that first point, that they didn't make a switch to maybe a little heavier hit scan composition. Is that something that surprised you that they didn't do?
Yeah, I mean, you would have thought they'd hold on that, but basically We Have Org desperately tried to catch up to what Tea&Biscuits were trying to do in those final last moments. I know that Zergy was on, obviously he was on the Doomfist to begin with, then he switched over to the Tracer. Yeah. But yeah, it's tough. I mean, how can you aim on McCree if you're playing with a track bomb? It's just you've got the tracking, but you don't have the flicks, man. Come on.
That you know what? So you can still track and do pretty well with McCree, though. That's one thing to not underestimate. But it's time for us to take a short timeout. When we come back, we'll see what happens on map number 3 between We Have Org and Tea&Biscuits, all even up 1-1 right now. And we're back here on Europe Contenders Trials. Labasco and Blank here with you. 1-1. We're tied up between Tea&Biscuits and we have Org. Blank. Crazy things happening there at the end, but Tea&Biscuits etching out a win here just at the end. They're playing really well right now. It seems that they've got a lot working for them. I mean, they almost won the first map too.
Yeah, I mean, Tea&Biscuits, they almost took it. We went 1-1, and then again, we did the thing on Ruins where, I mean, Tea&Biscuits, they saw the GOAT composition. They were like, well, let's just get Lynx off his best heroes. Let's pop him on Widowmaker. Let's put him on the Zarya instead. And I don't think this is the right decision. I think in this point of time, like, sure, towards the end of Trials, I think you just got to play to advantages. Where Lynx is playing insanely and the tank line are giving him space, Valmas is starting to play a little bit more reserved now to basically allow Lynx to play to his fullest. And to be honest with you, I've been really impressed with Tea&Biscuits' support line so far. They don't come up in the kill feed like bloodthirsty supports do, but they're very, very solid, and they're always supporting their front line. They are this net that the entire Tea&Biscuits can always fall back onto.
Yeah, it's the supports for both teams. It's sort of been an interesting duel between the two. Not that they're dueling each other directly always, but those are sort of what we said at the beginning of this, that the strength, one of the perceived strengths for we have Org is their supports. And, you're definitely seeing that from the side of Tea&Biscuits as well. The one thing, though, that you and I were talking about here while we were on our break was the tank lines of both teams. This is where the struggle has been really for both of them. But, Tea&Biscuits, is it just that they've been having some better off-tank play? What's given them that edge here, at least in that last map?
I think the Tea&Biscuits play so very well to keep enemy teams at arm's length. And at the moment, I think that we have Org, they really want to play close. They want to play close up. And the moment you get these big staggers from Lynx coming out, you play this McCree, you get the flashbang, and also you got Valmaster and Rotten, who are very, very good at keeping tank lines at bay and creating space. We have Org, I don't think they're used to that. And then Filion can always pull out the Farah as well, which puts like a really big wrench in the works. And I think we have Org basically struggling for answers now. They're scrambling for something to play against these compositions, which honestly, Tea&Biscuits, they can shake up the game a lot, and I like it. I like that they don't just play the same thing over and over. And I know that that's basic Overwatch, but some teams they have a singular comp and they vary it. They have variations of it, and then they play the specific map types. But this, at the moment, I like the way that Tea&Biscuits are adapting to their opponent.
Well, yeah, we have Org has some of that ability too, and the map choice here is Volskaya Industries. As far as things that maybe make Tea&Biscuits a little happy, it's a map where you can play Lynx. That on those characters that you just mentioned, you can play the Widowmaker, you can play the McCree. You're probably going to see the Widowmaker. Looks like he's already on it right now, so that looks to be their decision here. And they're actually going to go dual sniper here with Filion on to the Hanzo. So double sniper works really well here too. There's a lot of places to kind of have those crossfires come in. If you're the side of we have Org, how are you going to answer this on your first push?
I mean, it's so far for we have Org. I mean, Volskaya is one of these maps where you can actually kind of play a GOAT's composition, right? You can play this all tank, all support, because this is similar to Blizzard World, where there are singular routes where it's very easy to clear opponents off the high ground, drop onto the point, and then force them to come to you. Specifically, Blizzard World, where you move all the way on the right side, and then you come around and you're just on the point. But here, you can move right on the right side from the attacker's perspective, jump all the way down the corridor, clear out Mega, clear out the high ground there, move all the way around to Mini, and it becomes very hard for Tea&Biscuits to go for that. In this case, we have Org just going to play Tea&Biscuits their own game. Don't think it's a great idea.
They've got Zergi on the Tracer here who can harass both of those snipers who are definitely going to be supportive. Of course, Hanzo can deal with that a little bit better than the Widowmaker. IDXD just playing in the back right now, just scouting ahead, seeing where everybody is positioned. They see the Widowmaker on the left, Zerki going to that side, and he gets the kill onto it. He found the headshot. Oh no, he's looking for the Mercy! Rez got off though, but the Mercy getting out is maybe more important, even though you have the Widowmaker still left alive here. not going out and pressuring too hard yet because you know you do have the pick potential from both of these players. Widowmaker on the left side, you still have a Zenyatta too, who's getting jumped on by the Winston, forcing him away. And still, this is still a tough spot here for Tea&Biscuits, and Sean P getting Lynx out might be the start to get them to start building on this point.
They really shut them down there. Really good, like, control of the space. I mean, you saw the entirety of We Have Org go through small room, and then you have Midna drop up the top side, completely cut off that route. So wherever Lynx went from in that situation, he was cut off, and IDXD just had 3 shots because Lynx had to worry about 4 of the players.
Oh, Zergy almost found himself another Mercy. Doesn't quite get the elimination, but at least forces the Mercy to have to hide and find some healing from somebody else. So a very good start here for We Have Org as they start to push in. Zergy's Pulse Bomb doesn't find anything off screen, but we do have IDXD finding Lynx. So the guy who's been one of the big parts for this side of Tea&Biscuits going down early in this fight. IDXD getting that Brigitte so close, looking for the stun as Filion not going to be able to get down. Oh, IDXD forced away, but he's able to find his Mercy. They do manage to get one with the self-destruct by Sean P. It's the Mercy, but Lynx back into the fight now after coming from spawn, turning things around. 14 Biscuits, and he finds Zergy as well. Lynx, the hero, after being taken out in the beginning of the fight.
And not a single tick accrued for We Have Org here. Zergy, he's got the Tracer Pulse Bomb. So far, Tea&Biscuits, they've worried about him because he can just appear from anywhere and remove part of your like lineup. Filion is now on the Brigitte now to basically stop that from happening as much. You would hope that Mini Kunga would play with Filion, and that's a dangerous combo. But the longest of shots from IDXD is going to open this one up. No Resurrect available for Tea&Biscuits mid-fight. That's going to go on a 30-second cooldown.
They still have to be worried about Lynx, though. We saw how he can change a fight when he is in it, so that might be worth it. He does manage to get the D.Va out of mech, but now IDXD, knowing where he is, does finally manage to take him out. So you trade the D.Va mech for the Widowmaker. A lot of pressure gone. Transcendence into this fight as well. Zergy looking for some backline characters. He's on to the Brigitte, who has used the rally away from the team, though, so a lot of that armor didn't really get onto any of the targets. Self-destruct gets one in Kara, and Filion finds one more. IDXD just not getting these eliminations quick enough is the only problem, even though he finds 2 here. There's just not enough people left alive to take advantage of it.
Ron just gives him the shower down, and slowly but surely he does die here. IDXD finding the fight towards the end of the fight. We have all spent so much time creating space from him, he's just not able to get any value out of it until the very end, like you say, Labosco. This is really impressive, though. I like the way Filion is playing.
Oh my
he's
God.
just absolutely putting in the work, stopping Zergy. And Lynx, the double tap to the head. Yeah, he's going down pretty easy. Oh my God, aggressive. This is dangerous.
He's getting shots off, though. So even though it's aggressive, he gets a bubble. They allow him to go forward and kind of free fire without any worry. And he still had the grapple hook available to get back away. Voids a shot there from IDXD. Will place the Venom Mine down right near the choke, so that way somebody might walk into it. They do spot it out, quickly eliminate it. Lynx having to use the grapple, got a little bit too aggressive here. Now they might try to take advantage of it, but Midna goes down when they try to dive onto him. Doesn't matter.
Oh, the Mercy boost just absolutely gives him so much more presence. But again, this is another thing that Valmaster makes so many mistakes, and is going over aggressive at the wrong times. Even though they got a pick, Valmaster, you can stay pretty with that one. Just hold on. What Widowmaker does best is preventing fights from happening in the first place. You don't have to force the issue. And now they're relying on We Have Org to stage perfectly, ready for this dive. Zergy's found the high ground, is forced to drop down by Valmaster.
They had to wait a little bit there because of the wall hacks coming out from T&B. So now IDXD in a position where he can try and deal damage out. Konga getting Roten, who threw out the self-destruct. So that's a good pick here at the start of this fight. Midna using Primal Rage as well, pushing players away, displacing them as they have control of the point. Looking now for Lynx as he's just trying to avoid the headshots here from Lynx. Lynx uses the grapple to get away, and now you have IDXD using his infrared sight. Midna and Konga combining for 2 more eliminations, clearing off this point pretty well. Just have to get Roten, who came back in on the D.Va. See how much they can stagger back into this one. Filion gets hit by the shield bash to get taken out. Baby D.Va gone as they do get the first tick. Don't have that many players on. Now they start to get them on to try and get those longer time banks coming out for the respawns. They finally get that touch just in time, but quickly eliminated with Winston. No one gets on, and they'll get it here they had players right there too, but nobody came onto the point with the Winston.
It's such fragile supports. You're playing the Zenya, you're playing the Mercy. Really, the only one who can touch properly is the Brigitte with the pocket with healing from Mercy and the Orb of Harmony. And there's a nice little 4K at the end there. We didn't quite get to see that. But Tea&Biscuits, they struggled. But it was a nice stall. 2 minutes 27. Lynx kind of whiffed the grappling hook. Wasn't able to get away as he would like. And really, that Midden just finished up the fight. So you can see the focus of attention just switching so much over to Lynx here. Minda is basically on Widow duties the entire map so far.
Yeah, right. The battle between IDXD and Lynx, and then Midna just finding him when he can, it's working. It's doing enough. And I think that what started everything too was the self-destruct got thrown by Roten. And then he gets taken out on the ground while he's waiting for the self-destruct to go off. That was huge.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, so far, Fillion, though, I've got to highlight him again.
Yeah.
He has played really, really well. As a front line between we have Organ, Tea&Biscuits, he is always there, preventing targets from coming through. You saw him one of the fights solo basically kill Kanga and force Zergy away from the point. So that's so much value he's been getting this entire fight. And when he does pocket the Widow, God, she's practically unstoppable.
Yeah.
But Tea&Biscuits so far, 2 minutes 27 on the time bank for
That's
Weirbox. It's not too bad. It's not too bad. But let's see if Tea&Biscuits can do it any faster.
They're going to show us, at least right now, Sombra as the pick for Lynx. I don't know if we're going to stay with this. We'll see if that's what they decide to do. On the other side, you've got the dive tanks along with Widow and Tracer again, Kara on the Mercy, and Kanga back on the Zen. And it looks like our switch will be Valmaster onto the Orisa as the pick. I wonder if maybe they were thinking there might be a Doom and why they're doing that. We'll see if Valmaster stays on this or if they make switches. They already switched Lynx off. D.Va going and scouting forward. Valmaster staying on the Orisa, it looks like, for now. So that looks like what they'll come forward with.
Movable shield, basically providing unlimited cover for Lynx wherever he goes. I like the strategy. It's getting him in position. They can't actually harass them as they go through on the left side. They could just be to take this high ground position through. Yeah, exactly. The shield is down. It's omnidirectional. Really, really good for moving Tea&Biscuits into position. Zergy just can't get close at the moment. Lynx now pocketed, looking for the kill on IDXD. A dangerous peek there. Could have gone all wrong in a second.
Yeah, both Widows know where each other are at. I mean, there's no question that they know what they're trying to do with this Orisa. So IDXD just looking for an opportunity to get a headshot in, but that barrier making it extremely difficult. Oh, and he finds one now, and it's Fillion. What a start.
That's not bad. But this is basically just an impromptu treehouse. So I kind of like the strat. There's just no real rotation from here, but the actual damage is there. Pulse John P out, but there's the Pulse Bomb.
Huge Pulse Bomb finds one, and Zergy was able to get the D.Va out of mech as well. So just trying to push themselves back away, but now they're in a bit. Oh, what a shot from Lynx, though. He's able to save his Zenyatta, was in a bad spot, and Minikonga's getting Midna. Oh, but IDXD coming back, finding a pick of his own to keep this even here, but now Lynx again, answering, finds the Mercy. IDXD caught in a bad spot, and now it looks like Valmaster and the rest of the team will get control here, but it did take them a little bit of time. So yeah, they win this fight, but it took them a couple of minutes. They're about at the 2-minute mark, and that looks like that's where it'll be when they finally do complete this point A.
It's an interesting Orisa strat. It's like you just walk up to the Widowmaker and pop a shield right in her face. Shoot through this, eh? And they just can't do it. I mean, and they're just completely just dying to the micro missiles. IDXD coming back in a big way, does find the kill onto Lynx. That's going to shut him down for the time being. Tea&Biscuits, they have to back out, but they're going to invest the supercharger. I wonder if Resurrect is coming up. It's not.
That's huge, too, because now you basically eliminated the supercharger here. Zergy, see him in third person there, looking to maybe go around on that flank. The rest of his team still kind of pushed back here, but that's okay because IDXD is keeping the pressure on the front line. Just don't have anybody else putting pressure on that shield, so that shield will probably be back, and that allows for the pick by Lynx. No trans, but they will have the res. That's the good thing. Carr's able to stay hidden, too, from the Widowmaker. Oh, Midna so close. It has to get help from Kara, who has to pop the Valkyrie here. Lynx can't find him out of the air. Transcendence committed on either side. Roten able to get the mech, though, for the D.Va at the very least. Zergy with the stick doesn't get the kill, but now he finds himself a backline target in the Zen, and now puts pressure onto Lynx with the help of Midna. They haven't been able to take him out. IDXD finds his life be stolen away by the Widow. Self-destruct here, takes Valmaster's shield out, but that's it. Zergy able to get Mini Kunga. As you said, 2 ticks still building up here, but this is still a fight that they're in. For the side of we have Org, Mini Kunga res back into this fight. Lynx still free firing from the low ground, and it's still kind of just getting stalled out here. And what a pulse bomb by Zergy. He takes Lynx out in this one. Mini Kunga and Fillion, though, able to get a few here as Minda and Zergy falling. They will finally get the few players that they need. It's just Kara left alive, and now Sombra trying to get back on at this point, taken out. And Tea&Biscuits complete this as well. They're definitely going to have a good time here.
They've come back in a massive way here, Labasco. Really impressive from Tea&Biscuits. They're going to have a much higher time back, almost double here that we have Org actually managed to get. There's absolutely no trepidation. Sure, Lynx goes down there, but Fillion, Mini Kunga, they're in the front. They can put down damage. I mean, Mini Kunga very happy to flex over to being their one and true DPS of the team. But again, like I said, Fillion, he's just in that front line. I love the way they played the Orisa. The Halt was played perfectly towards the middle of that fight, pulling them all in. And when the Guardian Angel went down, obviously you want to slingshot past your team. That's what Kara was attempting to do, but the Hulk pulls him back in, and it's just so much easier for basically Brigitte just to keep slinging away with that flail.
I think the other thing too is it seemed like so much was put into taking out Lynx, right? Like they try to get that Widowmaker, and when they finally do, it took so long that Fillion's out in front just bashing everybody in the head and they all die. So it's like, you know, it's one of those points where it's like you either got to get them out really fast, right? Or you're going to lose up front.
Yeah, Minda turns around. Yeah, Minda turns around, gives the rest of We Have Org a big monkey thumbs up, but they're all dying on point. It's like, I tried to do my job.
Well, he's going to have to try and do it here again. They're on the attack first. He's back on the Winston as well. IDXD and Zergy, they're back on that Widowmaker along with Zergy on the Tracer. So similar to what we saw them do earlier. See how they decide to attack it here. Jumping. Oh, and Fillion with the headshot there is going to stop this probably pretty early on. So the dual sniper working at the start for the side.
Hero pool is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Now We Have Org trying to get out.
IDXD taken out again. The res gone then from the fight, that means as well. So now you don't have your Widowmaker here. You're going to have to regroup. You still have Midna up front, though. And in the meantime, Lynx says, that's fine. Stay up front. I'm going to take out your Zen.
Exactly. Now Zergy's trying to get a little bit of value, but instead they're playing on this high ground where it's much harder for the Tracer to actually stage up here because she has to make the entire run round. Zergy does find Valmaster surprisingly solo. Down goes the pulse bomb, and he does back out. He's still in enemy territory though. No recall available, just sure. Fillion shuts him down, but he's just stalling out We Have Org even further. They will have the res available. Midna, he has the Discord orb on top of him. Doesn't go down quite just yet.
Dragon Strike out from Fillion displaces both of the teammates, and they're a headshot from Lynx. And like you said, Fillion finding one as well. So the dual snipers continuing forward, keeping pressure on with this crossfire that they have going. You go one way, you go into the Widow. The other way, you've got the Hanzo. And now pushing up his Lynx, and he finds Conga. Massive stagger coming through.
And look, Tea&Biscuits, they're running Mercy Zen, and you could see all the time Mercy and Zenya are in the kill field. That's 60% extra damage. Fillion's basically doing a full body shot 120. He's been booped up to 196. So if Zergy's even taking one of those shots, yeah, he's done. He's done to a single body shot from Fillion.
Well, they've changed now. Zergy staying on Tracer, but they have Sombra along with Kara making the move to the Lucio. It's taken a little bit of time for them to make these switches, but we'll see if they can pay dividends for them. They are down as far as alt economy is concerned, but Valmaster takes Midna, who jumps in out of the fight before it can even get started. Transcendence here on top keeps everybody alive. Zergy has to go to the low ground, and Chompy loses his life. Oh, this just completely blew in the kill feed here, and Tea&Biscuits just need to wait for this overtime meter to tick away. You have IDXD coming in, but it's probably not going to matter as you have Wrecking Ball, who quickly gets eliminated, and now they're just waiting for this to go. As that time goes away, We Have Org can't even get a tick. Tea&Biscuits have their win condition.
held on point A. Yeah, just one tick. That's all they need. Really, if they just create space for Lynx to find a pick, for Filion to find a pick, to move on forward. God, they're finding so much value from this composition so far versus We Have Org, who are investing so many resources to make it happen. Oh, Tea&Biscuits, they're really up the game here. They've really brewed the tea bag. This is one hell of a strong tea.
Well, and you never really got to see their comp come to fruition there on that last point anyways, because they were picked off before they could get into a position to do anything. So it worked for them last time, didn't this time, but now they got to try and hold for 4 minutes and 14 seconds, and it looks like they're not sure what they want to do. They still have a couple players to pick, and there's already almost 30 seconds left.
They're flailing. They are flailing around now, Labosco. In this situation, they've decided what they want to go for. It's a Sombra Doomfist type of pick. Tea&Biscuits, they don't really mind that as long as they're just creating space for Lynx forward, who is going to be playing on this Sombra here. Shut down the Doomfist, will shut down the D.Va as well as... I think Tea&Biscuits, even if they wait, they should take this one.
They have so much time, and that's the biggest thing. So for We Have Org, a team fight lost is the game lost, and then you're down 2-1 to Tea&Biscuits, who they need this win more than We Have Org does too, is something to be pointed out here as well. So getting that lead here going into our fourth map could be one of the biggest difference makers for them. See the scouting coming out. Lynx finds Kara at the beginning. That's great start for the side of Tea&Biscuits, and now you see Roten quickly charging in forward. Sombra going away though from IDXD. Kara is going to be back into this fight soon. Oh, the Doomfist just missing Lynx here though, but Zergy does manage to get him, and Sean P finds another. Webster will get the res back onto Miniconga now. Zergy going in here full head on, and he's taken down. It looks like Tea&Biscuits already starting to build up on the point. Miniconga has that Discord orb on the Winston, who has to jump away. Sombra now here quickly deleted from this map, and they win this one. Tea&Biscuits up 2-1.
T&B, wow, what a play. These guys, holy cow, this is impressive. We Have Org just do not know what to do versus Tea&Biscuits right now, and absolutely Filion takes that play of the game. We're not going to see it, but whatever, guys, you know it's good. You can hear the flailing around. You know Filion did some work. It is really impressive right now that Tea&Biscuits are pulling this out. I really like the strat from Lynx as well, as he drops the Translocator and Spawn, gets the kill onto Kara, and then immediately translocates back, switches up the Widowmaker, gets back into the fight. Unfortunately, Zergy was waiting for him, unsurprisingly.
That's okay, though, because pulling Zergy away from the rest of the team ended up working out, because by the time Zergy gets back, it's just him in a small room, which, sure, you love that if you're a Doomfist, but if you're the only one on your team in the room, right, it's not exactly going to be a good time.
Like, I surrender.
Right, like your rocket punch might get one person, but after that, it's going to be a really hard time, and
like,
that's what
guys, we're friends, right? I didn't mean to do that. Okay, that wasn't me. God damn. I mean, it's tough at the moment. It's really tough. We Have Org, and this is impressive that Tea&Biscuits have taken 2 maps off them. 2 maps off We Have Org, who have looked so strong during the entirety of trials. This is massive. This is not the same Tea&Biscuits we've seen before. This is not the same Tea&Biscuits we have seen who are struggling. They seem to be really coming into their own fold right now.
And they have to if they want to keep their hopes alive to get into Contenders, because this game, as we said before, is a must win. And now they're on the precipice of making that happen. We're going to take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll see if we have a final deciding map in map number 4 here on Broadcast.gg.
Tripping all over my shoes, yeah, I'm falling for you. Ain't nobody like you, yeah, you got me. Tripping all over my shoes, yeah, I'm falling for you. Ain't nobody like you. Ain't nobody like you. Tripping all over my shoes, yeah, I'm falling for you. Ain't nobody like you, yeah, you got me. Tripping all over my shoes, yeah, I'm falling for you. Ain't nobody like you. Ain't nobody like you.
Back here on Broadcast.gg, we have Org versus Tea&Biscuits. Intense one so far, 2-1. Tea&Biscuits with the lead, trying to get this win, keep their Contenders' hopes alive, as we are, of course, doing Europe Contenders trials. Blank, this one insane, and I think we're going to Rialto now as what could be the deciding map here between these two teams.
It's incredibly insane here, Labosco. We have Org are just one win away from being in Contenders, and they need this win. They thought this was going to be easy coming into it. Tea&Biscuits have struggled before, but now they're showing a completely different game. It's incredible to watch. And now we're going to Rialto, where it really favors these hit scan players like McCree, like Widowmaker, and Lynx is going to thrive. Filion as well as on the Farah. Damn. And so far, I've not seen any of the support players really making any mistakes on Tea&Biscuits. They've been playing this perfectly.
They really have. We do know that we have Org. This was their choice, though, too. So that's one thing to consider here. Obviously, they think this is the map that gives them the best chance to even this up and force a fifth map. And we know if it goes to a control point map, that's something we have Org is really good at. So Tea&Biscuits, this is where they need to make that final stand. And they're getting themselves set up. Looks like they're going to go with the Farah and the Widow here. Really quickly, 4-0 HSL beats Aztec Warriors. So HSL has now solidified themselves in that third spot, Blank.
Yeah, HSL, they looked like they were having problems towards the beginning, and then they've just come back out in a massive way. They've really blown the war out of the opposition, so it's really, really crazy. Now, Tea&Biscuits, though, this is an even more mad map. We've got We Have Org down 1-2 versus Tea&Biscuits. We Have Org moving out the gate straight away. They're versus Tea&Biscuits on defense. We Have Org on the attack, and IDXD already opening in a big way.
Great way to start, especially because that's a player who's been a nuisance for them in Lynx. Now looking for the Pharah out of the sky. Filion able to avoid it, has a bubble in front of him, and he finds a Sombra in the meantime while he avoids all of this damage from IDXD. IDXD can't find any heads though, and Filion's still able to rain down from above. Puts pressure onto the Widowmaker now. Will have to just move to make sure that they don't take a second rocket from Filion with that attack boost coming from the Mercy. So IDXD moves down to the low ground to try and find something else. Knows that the Widowmaker is over there, tries to get it. Oh, the reaction time pretty good, but not quite good enough to get the headshot is the only thing, as now Shanpi will find himself the main tank, and Lynx though will find the Ana, so we're back to a 5v5 regardless. And now the Sombra making the presence felt for Zergy, and gets the hack onto Filion, who's now a grounded bird and is so close and finally gets taken down by Zergy. So now we have Org starting to maybe get some headway on this map.
Rotten does about get back into mech here. Will he survive? Yeah, does just about get towards this. Filion drops the big barrage, finds IDXD before Kara takes him out, but that's that big DPS gone. Rotten manages to stay in mech, finds Midna.
They use their sound barrier here too, does Kara, because they want to try and get these eliminations. They know that this could be a tough spot to get caught in if they get caught towards the end of this push. Self-destruct in the air forces players away, and Lynx and Valmaster come back into this fight and get this back close to being even. So now the cart stuck in a very precarious spot for We Have Org.
Lynx following up with a kill onto Kanga once again. I mean, it's like the comics of old. I mean, Lynx, Widowmaker and Ana battling it out so far. Kanga is losing out as it goes in the lore. But Lynx holding it forward, and Filion, again, just making the Widowmaker into a tank, playing Brig alongside her. I mean, she can't follow you up there, though. It might be a bad idea.
Yeah, maybe a little bit, but now you see Lynx kind of just giving some crossfire there, so you have to make that decision of where you go. If you're We Have Org, they're going to push that cart forward. Instead, Lynx now kind of in behind. Ooh, gets hit by the fire strike, but still has his pocket there, so it doesn't matter too much yet, and the self-destruct doesn't get anybody, but it allows for Filion to take out Midna. So now just in this little room right now, as there's a headshot from Lynx, and now almost gets the Diva out of mech, does so, goes back up into the air, pops the infrared sight, and his team keeps control. 1:11 left to go here for We Have Org to make this attack work.
Lebosco, 1 minute remaining, just like you were saying. Filion has dropped the barrage, but Lynx goes down. That was their big linchpin in this fight. Rodden doesn't have anything. Webster about to fall low. He's about healing back up, but Minikunga's going to go down next. Both the supports so incredibly low in this fight.
The anti-nade huge to allow that one to happen. The Diva lost the mech again. You have outcoming to the Hammond to try and stall this out. So Wrecking Ball here, Lynx back into the fight, finds the baby Diva, and Valmaster's still pushing forward and winning these battles in front with Roten, who's made that switch. I don't know if they're gonna make that switch off if he decides to go back. Right now it's working, and Lynx still free firing, finding a place to hide too, looking for places. Oh, he's shooting across that bridge. Oh, he just missed the shot on to the Moira. Has to hurry and get back with his team, though. He could get caught out here by the rest of We Have Org if he's not careful. Finally gets back up onto that high ground, and now we'll have to wait for them to come around. Graviton Surge thrown towards Lynx because they want to get him out of the fight. IDXD finds Valmaster, so the main tank gone, but they still have plenty left. Start to move that cart forward. Roten getting Kara, though, with the pile driver. It's so close, and they do just do it in overtime, so We Have Org keep their hope alive.
2 minutes 25. That pick on the car was huge because they had the soundbar in the fight. Lynx coming up massive. Once again, finds the 3K. He's not done yet. He might be behind, but he's definitely putting his team in front.
Only problem is he found it too late for them to have end this on the first point, and we know that this second point is heavily in favor of the attacking team, so they're going to have a tough task ahead of them to try and get this to stop here. Although, for Filion, this is actually a little bit better of a spot for Fair. There's some places to hide on those buildings up top, and still a good place for Lynx to play as well, as they're using the Earth Shatter here. Valmaster goes down, doesn't get taken out. He does manage to get a nade on him. Filion, nothing there as Coalescence will take him out from the Moira as they continue forward with it and find another in Lynx. So now this is not working the way they want it to for Tea&Biscuits. Looks like switches are coming out here. Filion will switch to a second. Now he's going to decide to go to the Doomfist. Lynx goes to the Doomfist. Filion goes to the Sombra. So that's what they're going to try and do here. But they have to hurry if they want to try and get one more contestant Lynx just slowly waits for the ult to come out from the Wrecking Ball, and now will go in as well. Up on the high ground, looking for a target, sees the self-destruct. Sound barrier over for the side of We Have Org too, so they can try getting onto these players. IDXD, though, takes Lynx out, using now the Graviton Surge. They do manage to get 2, though, even out of it, but 60 seconds left here. Valmaster has the Moira in the corner. But the card so close here. Valmaster back in time, comes back in, is the Doomfist and Lynx. Too high charge, though, is the Zarya and Zergy. As he now tries to get on to the Wrecking Ball. He's able to stall out. So close here. IDXD, they finally take it here. 2 minutes, though, left on the clock. We have now the hardest point to push onto.
Tea&Biscuits, they're running this Sombra Doomfist composition. They want to hold for longer. They want to disperse the tank line from We Have Orgs, and so far it's just not working because We Have Org able to throw in so many ultimates to disperse Lynx from the point, dislodge him from damaging Midna or Sean P in this point. Also, you've got IDXD thrown in the damage, but here we go. Second point, and Lynx gets charged upon.
Massive EMP coming out for the side of Tea&Biscuits. The only problem is they're not getting the kills off of it. It's going the other way. Coalescence coming back out. Cart's going to start moving again here for the side of We Have Org. Still have self-destruct here. The one thing, though, is that the ult economy not as daunting for the side of We Have Org as it was earlier.
We do have a Graviton coming up, but a minefield in an enclosed area is going to be devastating.
Throw the mines out. Hasn't found anybody yet, but it does keep players from going out in front. Very close was Midna to going down. Sean P in a good position, though, to deal damage on that side there as the players came forward. Gets put out for a little bit. Now throws the self-destruct in with the help of a Graviton Surge. They don't get any kills off of it, but they're still able to keep everything moving forward, get that cart towards that final point. 45 seconds left to go. Zergy trying to give us a little bit of a feel like we're on a roller coaster there with that trackball, as now the Coalescence comes out and allows them to continue to push forward. They can't get any of these tanks down. Earth Shatter, though. Lynx and Phillian now able to get a few. The sound barrier was too late. They're going to have to try and regroup. 23 seconds left to go.
Massive stall. This is a huge stagger onto the Diva there. They're going to have 10 seconds before she's back up again. 10 seconds on the game as she respawns. We Have Org only have the rally. They have the Earth Shadow. Will pull both the supports in. Kara might live through this. He does not. Charging to the point is Midna.
Only one who can really get there, too. 2 seconds. One, is he going to be able to get back in time? Just does manage to do that, but Lynx is causing havoc on the back. And now there's just the Wrecking Ball on the point. And guess what? There's a ton of mines around. Good luck trying to get back onto it. He hits one of them and goes down. We Have Org can't complete the map. Tea&Biscuits have their win condition.
We Have Org will not make it to the end of Rialto. We did not expect this whatsoever. This is incredible. Tea&Biscuits just bringing this one around in a big way. It will be Tea&Biscuits stealing the social media manager designs from We Have Org, popping that free one in there if they can take this one now. Like you said, Labosco, they do have a win condition now. We Have Org, they've got to rethink how they're playing this. We're going to get a pause quickly out for the time being. Not sure what's going on with the players as of yet. But we'll be getting back into it as soon as possible.
Well, let's just talk about what happened there, though, because it starts on the first point, right? Because Tea&Biscuits just stalls out for so long, they couldn't really deal with the Widowmaker and Pharah that well on the side of We Have Org. And then the rest of the way, sure, We Have Org was able to win some fights and push through the second point really quick, but you still had such a small time bank. And then third point, we saw what happened. I mean, Tea&Biscuits right now, all the momentum's on their side. Pause here or not, you know that they're feeling it right now. One thing, though, to consider, Blank, this is still Rialto, and a full hold at first point is not unheard of. We almost just saw it anyways.
Oh, absolutely. We saw British Hurricane do it, but I don't think that We Have Org have the Pharah player to put in that damage on the choke line. I don't think they have that Diva player like Hafiko to make those big Diva bombs. I think they're a very solid team when they play slow but surely. Like they play like the tortoise versus the hare, right? They slowly get there. But so far, Tea&Biscuits have been putting down the hurdles all the way along the route, making it much, much more difficult for them. They did not make it all the way to the end of Rialto. That's the bottom line of it. There is still an absolute chance for them to make it, and victory is in their sights. And if anything, that's just going to give them even more confidence to push on through. I'm very excited to see what Tea&Biscuits pull out here and how they play it. Hopefully they don't let the confidence get the better of them, and Valmaster doesn't go too aggressive. Lynx doesn't give up some of its positioning for more aggressive plays, because at the end of the day, this is still Trials. You're still against a very, very tough team. But now is the time to shine.
Considering what you just said, though, about the side of We Have Org as far as it's concerned for their team, as far as not being able to play those characters that you mentioned, what do you want to see from them then? So that way they have an opportunity to maybe win this one, since they don't have that fair. They don't have those other characters that you just mentioned.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. I'd like to tell you that Lynx is going to play McCree. I'd like to tell you that Lynx is going to play Widow, but Filion has such a huge hero pool. Lynx has such a huge hero pool. It's I don't know what's going to happen. I'm really, really interested to see what composition they pull out here. Whoever the coach is for Tea&Biscuits has really prepped their team, has really given them as many compositions as possible. They've gone through the Fury. I know that they like to play all these crazy comps, and they're making it work, Labosco, and that's the most exciting thing about it.
Well, We Have Org showing us right now that they're going to go Champi on the... It looks like they're going to go with him doing the Roadhog, Midna on the Reinhardt, Kara on the Lucio, Zergi, Diva, Konga, Moira, and then IDXD on the Zarya. Is this what you like? By the way, 33 seconds left on the clock.
It's a composition that would work. I mean, Rodden on the Junkrat, definitely unsurprising if he does pull it out. But we'll look at We Have Org, like you were saying. We're going to have Champi on the Roadhog, obviously. Midna on the Reinhardt. Now, this is a composition that basically dissuades Tea&Biscuits from coming in too close. Playing Filion, they have played him on the Hammond before. He cannot get close and in with the enemy team because they'll just pull him in. This is a really, really cheeky play from him. Probably going to go from behind them. This is the slambulance of old that we used to see all the time before Ghost became much more in the fashion.
Yes, so Sean P right now, you saw him and the rest of his team coming forward, and they were looking for maybe that quick opportunity here, but able to get out with Tea&Biscuits is the only thing, as they actually go with Lynx onto the Bastion here to deal more damage in. He's up on that high ground. Minikunga able to take Midna out at the start. Looking for another one. They got another one with Filion in the air. Looking now for the Zarya, and now the Diva as well. Lynx just free firing in that turret mode and doing all the damage necessary, and they're just gonna push for free now. Kara did get a boop of 2.
Oof, a big boop. It doesn't matter. Now they get to set up on payload. They get set up Lynx on payload past this really dangerous corner from. Now they have full sight lines of the courtyard. It's gonna be so difficult to get through. And with Filion in the air, just pressuring this bridge, like they have to spend more time.
So that gamble that they had at the start doesn't pay off. They're coming back onto the cart now. Filion's still free firing from the air. Not much that can deal with him. You do have the Diva tank mode here for Lynx, shooting out. Can't find any targets though, but that's okay. Doesn't really matter because the cart's going to be able to start moving here. Although a couple of kills do come in here. Filion, his barrage gets eaten up by the Diva, but able to free fire again is Lynx with the help of Roten, who's made the switch to Junkrat. Oh, he gets taken out though from behind by the Zen. So that's going to be, or sorry, not the Zen, it's the Zergi on the Tracer, excuse me. But regardless, they're still moving this card a little bit. Oh, he gets trapped! He gets trapped here too. Oh, so they're going to get the recontest here regardless for the side of We Have Org. Backing out is Roten, but they're so close here, and they still got 2 minutes left on the clock. Riptire here to go in at the start of this fight. Roten looking for a way to get it, kind of gets stuck with the tire. Does he get any value? That's the big thing here. It does force players back. They know that it's coming. He does manage to get the mech at the very least. Out comes the use of the Ana ult as well as Midna onto 2. Able to get a little bit of help from his team to take them down. So it looks like they will be able to stabilize here just before that cart goes the last little bit. Roten the only one left alive. Regrouping now Tea&Biscuits.
Lynx makes a switch onto the McCree, and this is an interesting switch here. They have they've got only one tank. We get another pause in for the time being, but they're running with one tank with Valmaster. Rodden is now on the Junkrat, so they'll have this massive frontline advantage. We're going to go to another break for the time being. I think we want to reset on the desk with a bit of a resync whilst we wait. But so far, it's been some interesting comps like I thought was going to come out from Tea&Biscuits.
Yeah, it's been ridiculous so far. We'll take a timeout here too while we just wait and see how long. Well, actually, we're going right back into map, so we're going to have to keep it here as a minute 27 left on the clock here. And now we'll see what they have to do here for the side of Tea&Biscuits. They do make that switch, though, so Roten goes over to D.Va now, since obviously they're able to clear out that front the way that they wanted. Minute 14, they have to win this fight, or they're in a really bad spot for them. As Kara ends up falling here. Great start, and Deadeye available here. I think they're just going to have to give this up for the side of We Have Oregon. That looks to be maybe what they're going to do. Pop Deadeye anyways to ensure that they do get this point. Link's just kind of messing around there, and he finds one anyways in the Hannah.
He doesn't care. I'll take it up. It's a decent kill from him. It's going to send him all the way back to spawn, give them a bit of an advantage. But you can see already the entirety of the team taking a proactive positioning, try and get Lynx on that high ground nice and early. On the side of We Have Org, we're going to have IDXD on the Sombra, Zergy on the Tracer as usual. The big pick onto Kara at the beginning of that fight was massive. Really cancelled out the sound barrier, and that was a massive open that they needed to hold on to.
Pulse Bomb missed is here. Transcendence coming in as well. Self-destruct thrown out as the Primal Rage coming from mid, but he quickly gets thrown in by Roten. He's able to boop him down and out. And that cart going to start moving here again in just a moment after they take out these last few. Filian has been crazy.
Absolutely crazy. Midna, are you inting? Is this an in? God, he went straight up the cliff. And Sean P has been playing quite well, but Rotten has really been showing the boats here. Lynx is just moving forward, taking names, and they're going to move through point B with relative ease. And Kara's still holding this onto the sound barrier.
Getting close to the next point. 2:08 left on the clock. Zergy, who we're on right now, has a self-destruct in his face, able to use the bubble in time, but in the meantime, Lynx able to get Midna down, so main tank down out of the fight again. But Zergy's still pushing forward as he's got a pretty high charge going on, but he's going right into Filian, who swings away. High noon there, not able to find anything. Self-destruct here, takes Sweat a bounce, and then getting helped in was IDXD and Zergy, so they're going to be able to win this fight. Just that bounce was perfect off of that panel to find somebody, and the follow-up comes through.
Absolutely, but Filian will be coming to his next fight with a rally. It's kind of unfortunate. It kind of slid down the slates there and went on to the enemy team. Ron's going to switch over to the Hamster once again to get into that backline, really aggravate Kanga before he can find the next nano boost. And pretty much a wholesale swaps on the other side. We got the Doomfist coming out, we got the Lucio coming out as well. So real big speed on this team. They want to make it quick and decisive, but Kanga positioning so far has been great.
Minute 6 left on the clock, though. They're starting to run out of time for Tea&Biscuits. They don't want this to go to a 5th map if they can avoid it. The pile driver in, not a whole lot there, but Webster finding Zergy here on that left side. And now they find Midna as well. So a very good start to this fight. Pile driver in again. Lynx now finds himself a baby D.Va, and they're going to be on to this final point here and trying to complete this map, get to that golden box, and win themselves a game and keep themselves alive for Contenders.
They are so close, they can taste the biscuits right now. Will Lynx stop? Man, this guy has been doing a lot of work so far. But really, what we want to look at here is the nano boost. You can pop that onto Zergy to give him a little bit of extra oomph towards that next graviton, but there's still 1 minute 50. This is going to give more time to Tea&Biscuits to find their ultimates of their own. But really, they're holding so far forward. There's a Meteor Strike, there's a Transcendence. Everyone else is coming towards their own ultimates. This is the final massive fight here. Will Tea&Biscuits take it? That is the question.
Meteor Strike here at the beginning. Transcendence coming out as well. Almost got somebody pushed into it. Nano Boost coming out, and Midna able to swing his hammer right into Lynx. Out come the mines, though, right at the front here. A minute 25 left to go. That kill at the start might just force back the rest of the team for the side of T&B. Graviton Surge thrown in here. They don't want to let them get away. They want to clean up this fight. Here's Self-Destruct as well. They are using a lot as the only thing. IDXD still has the rally left up in this fight. A minute 7 left to go. Not a lot left on the other side for Tea&Biscuits is the only problem. They have Primal Rage, but that's it really. And they're going to stall out Bowmaster here massively, and Midna will have himself the massive Earth Shatter that he could use.
They invested a lot of ults, like you were saying, Labosco. Maybe too many. We're only having that Primal Rage, 48 seconds, and so little meters to go. It's so very close, but we're going to be running into an enemy rally, which just was popped now. Mini Kunga has desperately got it towards his Transcendence. Earthshatter comes down, but he gets booped up, so it's not great.
Pile Driver now looking to maybe come in there, but swinging away is Roten, looking for his opportunity to drop onto somebody, displaces a few of the players up into the air, and Bowmaster with the Primal Rage finds the Ana. Great start for them here. Roten finding Midna as well. Graviton Surge, the Transcendence coming out. Out comes the Sound Barrier as well, trying to keep themselves in this one as we have Orc. They found a few players. Webster still in there with Roten and Mini Kunga as well. Anti-Nade keeps a few of them from backing up. Overtime meter starting here. Valmaster trying not to fall. Roten the first one in. Out comes the Doomfist again, and Lynx, he's so close to his ult, but he gets taken down instead. This spawn's too close, and we have Orc just have to eliminate the Winston, and they will get this overtime meter to go down. We're going to a map 5. We have Orc not out of it yet.
Man, this is incredible. This is actually incredible. We have Orc tied up now, so close to the beginning. The fight started so well. Midna drops onto the mines, but he survives anyway, creating a lot more room for his tank line. Zergy just survived for so long. He had the armor on top of, and because of that, he was able to input so much extra damage that Lynx just wasn't providing on the Doomfist. Sure, he found a couple of picks here and there, but his Meteor Strikes, his Rocket Punches just weren't as effective as we'd liked him to be. We're going to a map 5, Lowosco. I'm excited. I bet the players are excited or nervous, one or the other, but if it's anything to go by, really, what has to happen is that Tea&Biscuits have to raise their game. They have to raise their game. They have to raise their game on Control because they lost it the first time 2-1. But there's still hope.
There definitely is still hope. We're going to take a timeout, though. When we come back, we will have that 5th and final map for you. See if Tea&Biscuits can keep their Contenders' dreams alive here on Broadcast.gg.
Since
back here. Map number 5 coming your way between We Have Org and Tea&Biscuits. Labasco and Blank here with you. Big game for Tea&Biscuits because if they win this one, they keep their hopes alive for Contenders. We Have Org seal themselves in if they can get the win here. Blank, our final map, is Oasis for the day. And obviously, we talked about We Have Org winning this one just a moment ago. But obviously, Tea&Biscuits, for them, they have to try and turn things around here on the control type map.
Who will win? But I don't want to call it that early. Tea&Biscuits are still in this one. It's 2-2 right now. Both teams been playing out of their minds so far. Tea&Biscuits, they had a good run and a good amount of momentum, but it's been stopped by We Have Org. Even though they managed to stop them just shy of point C on Rialto, Tea&Biscuits didn't manage to take it. It's got to take a hit to the confidence, but they're going to come back into Oasis. They might be struggling here, Lobosco, because we saw them go 2-1 on Ilios, and that was with maps that did favor McCree and Widow, which Lynx is really, really good at. And now we're on Oasis, where more maps favor this Farah or more GOAT compositions, which we know We Have Org can play. So Tea&Biscuits going to have to raise their game.
Starting off on University as well, too, Blank. So moving their way onto the point will be T&B, as taking the high ground as We Have Org. So already kind of have two different strategies of how they want to start this.
We have Xenia versus the Moira here, so less healing for Tea&Biscuits, but more burst damage potential should it come out when we get the Shield Bash going.
Shield Bash does come out, getting dangerously close. Is Midna, doesn't fall yet though, is the only thing. Zergy uses the barrier here to keep Midna up, and they can still keep some pressure on this front line for the side of T&B. Zergy using that right click here. Out comes the Shatter though!
Oh, it's huge!
Charge, as now stalling up behind it is the rest of T&B. Zergy's still left alive. Oh, but IDXD is able to get one in Valmaster. Graviton Surge now from Zergy to answer, and it looks like this is going to go to We Have Org first.
And they had to force out the Graviton from We Have Org. Lynx can still get his own, but it's unfortunately does die here. Zergy will retain about 70 charge when the next fight does come in. Minikunga, Transcendence, Webster has that sound barrier as well, as We Have Org could be running with this big Earth Shadow, but because Tea&Biscuits went down with Rally available, they will not have all this armor, and this is the big problem they faced on Ilios as well, as they were always running into We Have Org after they have this all this armor provided by the Brigitte.
Minda looking for an opportunity to use the Earth Shatter. Doesn't have it yet, just kind of waiting it out. Now gets caught into the Graviton Surge, will use it, now gets pinned into, able to get back up in time before the Self-Destruct gets back up, so nobody's going to go down. Self-Destruct on the other side, doesn't find anything. Graviton Surge, nobody gets caught in it for We Have Orgs, but they're still keeping them away from the point. Built up to 40%, starting to move forward. Valmaster gets Minikunga helps with Valmaster getting out the main tank, and now swinging and cleaving away is Valmaster onto this point. So switch may come here soon for the side of T&B if they can clean up these last few stragglers, and it looks like they will.
Zergy is so dangerous now. Having 2 Gravitons in the time that Lynx has found to build 1. Zergy's just an incredible Zarya player all round. He's already 65% towards the next one. It's absolutely insane. They are in a bit of a danger zone with 60% versus We Have Org, because they can get the recontest and get more percentage more quickly as they get more ultimates. Lynx will have a Graviton coming in this next fight. They want to extend it as much as possible before they unleash their wing condition with the Graviton.
Rally going to be the first one used here at the start.
Oh, Lynx!
He falls by the Sean P, the Diva coming in with the start here. IDXD swinging away that flail, and now it looks like they will take this point right back here for We Have Org. So getting maybe, we'll see how many percentage points they get, but it looks like 35 might be all.
They absolutely did not get enough charge as possible as they wanted. They wanted to accrue more percentage than 38%. And every time we're on Zergy, he's always 100 charge. The way that he actually uses projected barrier and self-barrier is incredible so far. Tea&Biscuits coming back into this one with a lot of ultimates. They will have the Diva Bomb Graviton combo, this bigger bang, but there's a Graviton of their own.
Both teams caught in Graviton Surges right now. Use of the Transcendence and the Sound Barrier. Self-destruct up into the air. Won't find anything. Good block coming out here on that Earth Shatter. So now Valmaster has an opportunity to use his, but he gets stunned out, and he's going to fall. We have Org winning this one. They used the Sound Barrier here, but nobody's left alive in the front line. They have to back up, so that's just to make sure they don't get staggered out. Only problem is this is at 98%. Trying to get there is the Diva. Can they get there in time? Oh, no! Tea&Biscuits lose the first map. We have Org. Great win on this first one.
Rotten was so very close, but they had all this crowd control that they absolutely needed, and Rotten was not getting close. He even fled. He zoomed over the top of the skies. That guy was flying, but he was not getting to the point in time. Tea&Biscuits, they are one down now. The wind just slipping through their fingers so far, but Tea&Biscuits, they move over to a map like Gardens. Here, we can drop Philion onto the Thora, but it doesn't look like they're going to go for it. They're going to stay on this composition, move Lynx over to the McCree instead. We have Org going for a more dive composition with IDXD on the McCree.
As far as what you see here, is this what you want to see from the side of Tea&Biscuits?
Absolutely. We'd want to see the Farah McCree here for Tea&Biscuits. So far, they know they can't beat out We Have Org like this. They've seen it time and time and again. We Have Org, they know how to play goats. Tea&Biscuits, they just seem to lose out whenever they try to go for it. IDXD going down very early, though. Tea&Biscuits just showing them how it's done, I guess.
Lynx getting a lot of charge here too. Doesn't get a lot on the ult percentage though, only up to 11%, but his team wins that fight so handily is the good thing. They are going to be able to hold on to that. So, I mean, quick changes here for the side of We Have Org, but now you're in that spot. They're behind.
Yeah, We Have Org, yeah, absolutely. They are behind. They lost the first control point, and now they will make some switches over the top. Zergy taking some damage on top, only 4%, but this ult economy here could change the flow. So far, Valmaster has been able to remove value from a lot of the shadows that Mid has brought out. There goes the Discord Orb, not quite finding too much damage on the Reinhardt as of yet, but Valmaster, he falls again.
So huge start here for We Have Org after they make this switch. Like you said, they are the better team as far as the GOAT's composition is concerned. Zergy just dealing 1,000 damage because he's already a 99% charge pretty much, now coming down now. But still, like you said, he's been one of the big focuses for them. He continues to do it, and he's halfway to a grab.
It's really good because so far IDXD, I've not noticed this as much, but he plays between Zergy, Midna, he plays in the middle between the two tank line, right? Stopping anyone from getting towards Zergy and just letting Zergy accrue all this charge all the time because he knows the Graviton. And as long as he stays alive towards the end of the fight, he can clear up being that major DPS character with that 100 charge on top.
Lynx is about to have his. Midna's going to use the Earth Shatter. Does find a few self-destruct. 2 of them down. Great one here. We have Org still pushing this fight forward as they're getting up past 40%.
This is looking really bad for Tea&Biscuits so far. Lynx still has not found a Graviton on his own, and We Have Org will be coming to this one with Sound Barrier, Transcendence, a Graviton. And this is what Midna can swing into and found the next Earth Shatter. And I know I said Valmaster found value out of stopping it, but so far, it looks like We Have Org got him against the ropes.
So come back on when there's 54%. Graviton Surge first used here. Sound Barrier keeps everybody up. Counter grab coming in. Doesn't catch a lot. Roten able to get the self-destruct for one, so Midna down out of the fight. Main tank down here allows for the Earth Shatter to be huge for TNB, and they clear the point.
That's a lot of ultimates invested already, but We Have Org, they are also looking shy and basically not having a lot of ultimates on their side. Lynx up to 34%. He's trying to get towards his next Graviton as soon as possible. Knows that Zergy can lap him so easily thus far, but this time it will be We Have Org running into Tea&Biscuits with all the armor in the world. This is where we've seen a lot of times that We Have Org has had the advantage. Let's see if the Tea&Biscuits can hold on to it.
Coming back onto the point, pushing their will forward. Zergy gets hit with the Sound Barrier here as well. Looking towards that backline. Midna gets the first kill onto Valmaster. Already have the Diva Mech gone, using all that they have just to get back into this one. So they don't use a whole lot. Sorry, Tea&Biscuits not with a lot to do anything there. But now you have a couple of good ults up here for We Have Org.
But this is a problem that happens over and over again, is Valmaster is just going down, and I think it's because they don't have the burst healing. They're running Mini Kunga on this Zenyatta, and it's only 30 HPS, right? Valmaster just cannot sustain himself through the huge amount of damage that Zergy throws in, and there's the grab.
could potentially last fight here. 2 self-destruct comes out. Now the Earthshatter Midna, huge with it, charges into one, helps eliminate another one with the Fire Strike. What a Fire Strike! Overtime. 2 players do manage to get back on, but is it going to be enough? Another self-destruct thrown in. There's nobody left on the point. Overtime meter. They do manage to get back with the Wrecking Ball. Wrecking Ball starting to fall down. Webster back on the point here. This one on the line. We have Org trying to stamp their ticket. Overtime meter halfway down, and we have Org will be in Contenders as well. They're going to join British Hurricane as they win this one 3-2. It was so close, though. Amazing game from both teams, Blank.
They stamp the ticket, and they will be getting on the train to Contenders. You will see them there. Who wins? We're going to be saying that a lot in Contenders, hopefully. And it's going to be... Oh my, just Midna. Midna played so much better towards the end of that map, really playing his little socks off. So far, the guy had been having a bit of a rough day, but we see him on control, and he takes control of the enemy team. IDXD, you got to give him credit. His play on Brigadier was insane that entire time, enabling Zergy, enabling Midna. Man, this team is so solid, and it's unfortunate, and Tea&Biscuits put up such a great fight.
The adversity that they were able to fight through, I think, is one of the most impressive things for We Have Org. Rialto, we see them, they can't complete the map, but they're able to stop Tea&Biscuits from doing so. They, here on just Oasis at the end, there was a couple of fights where they ended up losing, but they're able to make the correct switches. So they're behind on Gardens there at the end, and they're able to turn that around. I mean, their ability to adapt and just kind of change as the game goes along, I think, is super impressive. But for Tea&Biscuits, this is a heartbreaking loss for them because they move now to 1-4. They're probably not going to be able to make it in. They're pretty much I don't think they're quite mathematically eliminated. I think they're basically mathematically eliminated if they're not. So it's very close if they aren't. I forget if it's the 5th loss or the 4th loss that'll do it. But regardless, that was a game that they can be proud of, that they did put it all on the line to try and get themselves into a spot where they could try and control their destiny.
Absolutely, and there's so many different factors that went into that game. There were so many moments of hope, and you can be sure to see the individual talent from Tea&Biscuits continue on to see them in Overwatch competitive gaming, because these guys are great, and I see these guys going far. But for the time being, it will be We Have Org who will be moving onwards. There's a few little mishaps here and there they can clean up, but as long as they keep Zergy alive, I mean, they're going to be pretty okay, I reckon.
I think you're right about that one, and I think something to consider for them too. Some of these, sure, We Have Org as a team that's been in Contenders, but some of these guys are guys that are going to get their first opportunities in Contenders on We Have Org. They've had some roster changes. Carr is one that comes to mind, who's going to get his opportunity in Contenders, and just some of those things. It's good to see for We Have Org solidifying and guaranteeing that they're getting it.
Exactly. Anyway, that's been enough from me today. Yeah. We've had a long run out. We love Osco. We were run through 2 games today. It's just been us. I hope we've been okay for you guys in Twitch chat, watching at home, watching on whatever platform you do want to watch on. I hope you enjoyed Trials as much as we do, because we love to bring this to an audience.
And one thing here to consider, October 27th and 28th are going to be our next 2 games. As far as the times for that, we know that the time is going to be 4 p.m. CEST, 3 p.m. BST, 10 a.m. Eastern Time for the 27th. Same times for the 28th, 4 p.m., 3 p.m., and 10 a.m. We just don't know what teams we're going to be doing yet for those time blocks, obviously. But we're going to have some exciting games. We know that HSL right now sitting comfortable in the 3rd spot. We have Copenhagen. We have Bazooka Puppies, who are just in a bad spot too, that they might not be able to make it. But Shoes Money Crew, the one surprise I think from today too, that has a chance. So be sure to tune in on the 27th and 28th for both of those games. But that's going to do it here for us. Want to say thanks to Nauri and Lafon, who are analysts in Game 1. Want to say thanks to Ben, our producer. Thanks to my partner here in Blank. Oh yeah, and of course Kenobi and Rapture. They were doing the play-by-play for game number 1. That's going to do it here for us on Broadcast.gg, though. See you on the 27th.